Well, g'day guys, it's Jeff Adam here and welcome to our South Pacific virtual vacation brought to you by the Travel Advisors, and I'm glad you've joined them because I can tell you right now, Travel Advisors play such an important role in organising vacations, in pulling together all those important elements, and you being here today is on the invitation of your local travel agent, and the travel agents realise that truly the fun is in the planning, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be taking you on a journey to the South Pacific. We're going to take you to Tahiti and Fiji, and we're going to throw in the Cook Islands as well. So we're going to have three major areas that we're going to actually visit, and like I suggest, the whole nature of a travel advisor's role is to make sure that you're looked after, and it starts dealing with a travel advisor. It starts from the actual planning process, which is what we're essentially doing right now. We're kind of making plans, and we've got time to make plans, haven't we? Because we're trapped at home. This pandemic, of course, has kind of put us in a bit of a spiral of nothingness. So we're kind of getting ourselves prepared. So what we can do is look forward to what will happen when the world opens up again. We're going to look forward and look ahead. I mean, I can tell you right now that Fiji, the Cook Islands, and Tahiti, there's been absolutely no deaths in there as regards to the actual virus. In fact, the minimal cases, like Fiji's had 8 cases, the Cooks had 23, Tahiti had 50, but there's been no deaths. People have got better. I mean, they've really controlled it very well. So they are suggesting that these regions are going to open up. They're going to open up, and there's there's quite a lot of talk in terms of when this is going to happen, but it's exciting news, very exciting news. So remember, the fun is in the planning. Call your travel advisor and let the fun begin. Our beginning, of course, is getting to these regions, getting to Fiji, the Cook Islands, and Tahiti. They actually form an area called the coral route destinations. The coral route destinations incorporate from the west. You've got New Caledonia, just out of Australia, New Caledonia, which has, incidentally, interesting about New Caledonia, has the second largest barrier reef in the world, and it's French and Melanesian. These are part of the Melanesian. New Caledonia, Vanuatu, and Fiji are Melanesian, where Tonga, Samoa, Cook Islands, and French Polynesia are Polynesian. They form part of a Polynesian triangle. Their triangle extends all the way down to New Zealand. That's also part of Polynesia, going all the way up to Hawaii. Whereas the Melanesians push across to Papua New Guinea, which is just above Australia. So, in fact, we're going to start by focusing just on those areas. We're going to focus on Fiji, the Cooks, and French Polynesia. Now, the reason being, of course, it's a direct destination from North America. It means you can fly straight down. Fiji, as you can see, is about 10 and a half hours. We're going to start with Fiji. Then we're going to go to the Cook Islands, which is a 9.5-hour flight to Rarotonga. And then we're going to go to Papeete in Tahiti, which is a 7.5-hour flight. So without any further ado, let's go and check out Fiji. The welcome to Fiji is bula. Everywhere you go, it's bula, bula, bula. It's like going to Australia where they say g'day, they say bula. And bula, Fiji, is where happiness finds you. The Fijians are such, they're genetically disposed to smile, to laugh. They in every day, in everything they do, they're having a great time. And that really starts when you board their flight. Fiji Airways does a marvellous job of providing exceptional service. The interior of the business class offers lie flat seats, and of course in economy class you've got plenty of room. You've got all the typical modern cons you expect to be on flight, and the in-flight experience just dissipates as you make your way down to this paradise. Welcomed on arrival, wonderful, warm and friendly Fijians. I tell you right now that when it comes to families traveling to Fiji, Fiji is one of the best places, out of all of them, one of the best places to take families, because the kids will be so well looked after. I mean, they've got a wonderful connection with family, and you'll find it's also a great destination for couples, for honeymooners. It's a great destination for adventure. There's no visa requirements for US or Canadian citizens. English is the official language. Tipping is not customary, so you're not having to pay extra money. Whether they talk of a May to November being the dry season, but I can tell you Fiji is good any time of the year. I mean, even in the wet season, it's only like a bit of a downpour in the afternoon and it goes, and it's all blue sky again. So, I mean, it's temperature-wise, it's between the 70s and 90s all year round. Now, they have a local currency called the Fijian dollar, and the good thing there is it's over double your money. So where can you go? I live in Vegas and I can't get double money. Here you can go to Fiji and you can double your money when you get down there. That sounds pretty attractive, doesn't it? And Fiji offers something for everyone. It's surrounded by these fringing coral reefs. Jacques Cousteau, the most famous Frenchman in the underwater world, he has travelled down here. In fact, he built a resort here. I mean, he built a resort here. That's how much he enjoys the soft coral capital of the world. Snorkeling and diving. There's some great boating, sailing. There's some great adventures. Fiji's truly an opportunity for a truly transformational experience, a chance to meet with the local Fijians and enjoy the culture, the warm welcome, and just immerse yourself. And for that reason, again, I come back to families, for family groups going down. It's great for kids. I mean, kids are like sponges, and they come to a place like Fiji and to feel and see a culture of people who just live together, love together, and are just wonderful. It's just a wonderful, I think, insight into the culture of the Fijian people. The essence of Fiji, the experience is all about white sand beaches, swaying palms, thatched huts, bungalows, beautiful beach areas with aquatic playgrounds. You've got coconut palms swaying, and of course, sitting back and having a coconut cracked open, and perhaps a nice fresh coconut juice. And they put coconut in everything. You'll have wonderful coconut in your cuisine, and of course, the nature of the food, the fare, is that it's very much about what's grown in these rich, fertile islands. Is also what's found in the seas around. Chefs pull together to create an amazing culinary experience. Same time, it's that opportunity to mix and mingle with the locals, the chance to enjoy that whole Fijian fun. And for those that are interested in celebrating things like weddings and honeymoons, I mean, you couldn't get a better place to travel to, quite frankly, because it's a small group wedding. You can take your group down here. Probably for the cost, it would cost to put your wedding on here. You can all fly down to Fiji, have a nice little beachside wedding. It's a great place for celebrations. It's a great place just to kind of get back life, to just, for these lovely lost, lazy days, to really, reconnect, to that life back promise, that chance to have special occasions where, you're forgetting about that phone, you're forgetting about your busy working world, you're forgetting about things like a pandemic. Oh, that's gone. When that's gone, Fiji's where you want to go. Now, when we're looking at Fiji, we've broken up into a number of islands. The main island, of course, is Vitalevu. And Vitalevu, you'd fly actually into Nadi. That's the main airport there. And it's from here, the Coral Coast. We'll go and visit the Coral Coast and check out some of the resorts. There's properties here in Nadi as well. Then the Mamanuca Islands and the Asawa Island group. We'll go and check out some of the islands there. Vanalevu and Tavanui will come up to Savile. We'll go and experience these North Islands. Of course, I mentioned Fiji Airways is the airline which will get you there. But once you've arrived, there's also Fiji Link that provides great connection up to Savile. There's also seaplanes that can actually, nothing like being picked up and dropped in a seaplane off this little tropical island and landing on this waterfront, and you step off and you're in your resort. Or maybe by private helicopter, like James Bond, being dropped out to your property. And there's a whole array of scheduled catamarans and sailing ships that will also link you. And in fact, I've got to say, leaving your island after being on a little tropical island, you get to know your people so well. Often there are tears when you leave because they're out there singing as you say goodbye, you wave goodbye. It's just beautiful. And for those who want a little fun, you can also hire a speedboat and head out and explore and do a little island hopping. Depending where you're traveling, we can bring it all together. Now, your travel advisors, of course, are very aware of the sort of welcome that's made available. We can link all this up and make sure that your client, that you're welcomed when you first arrive, that lovely Fijian bula welcome, and it's important to kind of immerse yourself, to get to meet the people. So it's to kind of go to a resort and have the experience of meeting the folk. You need to get outside of that too, and get out into the local markets, and like in Nadi here, you've got some great a chance to meet. There's nothing like going to a market, the swell of sweet, sticky tropical fruits, the lovely din. Food is the essence of life, and to wander through a good market and see people smiling and laughing and kids playing and buying fruit yourself, it's fun. And right within this rich area, just off of Denarau, you've got the Garden of the Sleeping Giants. It's located at the foothills, the highlands you see here is this wonderful garden. It's actually the Canadian actor, Richard Raymond Burr, rather, he actually has this wonderful orchid garden that thrives in this beautiful Fijian tropical climate. And to be guided into this region, to be taken on a trip into a Fijian village, to be welcomed by the chief, to go into the chief's hut and perhaps sit down with the group and enjoy a kava ceremony. I mean, this is truly an amazing experience. Kava itself is a root that they crush up and mix with water, and it actually makes your mouth go numb. I nearly missed a flight because of kava. But I've got to tell you, the whole ceremony, it's quite interesting to sit here. I mean, again, you're learning so much when you travel to enjoy the people, the culture, the song, the dance, and then perhaps do a little shopping and meet up with the locals. And for those that want to head out and explore, you can go into the interior of Vitalevu and explore. You can see these wonderful rich green gardens. You can go rafting through the highlands and some great, amazing, adventurous rafting trips. Or you can even take a little local form of transport called bilibili. And bilibili is these rafts that are made out of bamboo. They're also referred to as HMS Don't Come Back, because basically they don't bother dragging them back. They build these things up, and you'll hop on and you'll go for a little, you'll basically drift down. They'll have a big pole they'll use to kind of push it along. And yeah, so lots of fun things can happen. Of course, when you're at some of these resorts here in Denarau, they're quite the playground for people who are escaping. You've got all those wonderful attractions right on your doorstep. Of course, the properties themselves, like your Radisson Blues or your Westons Denarau, these are larger properties, but they have all the motorised activities, the sailing activities, snorkeling and diving. All those things can be incorporated. So if you're just doing a little stopover, then this could be perfect. Or maybe you want to push around to an area where there's quite a run along the Coral Coast between the Segota River all the way around to Suva. Pacific Harbour's pretty well when they kind of finish up, but you'll find there's larger resorts. Now, these larger resorts, if you're a group of friends want to get together and find somewhere they can travel to, what's nice about the large resorts, especially when you're talking families, is they've got great child-minding services. And the kids honestly will bond. The Fijian mamas are just beautiful people, and they really at the end of the trip, you'll find the kids will be crying saying goodbye to their newfound friends because they have such a great time. So a place like the Outrigger on the lagoon, it offers everything from the more motel-style accommodation, but then you've got your lovely beachfront bungalows for couples as well. If couples wanting to have something truly romantic, then Royal Duavui Island, which is just off the Coral Coast, surrounded by this beautiful coral reef. Each of the actual bungalows themselves are tucked into the rainforest and having sensational views. They're quite open. I love the fact that they can open up the doors. You can let that beautiful tropical light and breeze kind of just waft through. And it's just a place where it offers all the creature comforts one could expect, be it the outside spa to take in the final night, or perhaps after a spa and you get yourself all tidied up, you can head down to the main area of the resort, where it's only very small, but what it does cater to is providing wonderful dining experiences, an opportunity to for those who want romantic experiences, they can do special treats as well. Now, the Mamanuca and the Osawa Island group, which sit just off, are easily accessed. There's basically from the Nandi airport, it's between 1 and 2 hours to get out to the various islands, depending on where you're travelling. And of course, as I mentioned, there's all sorts of cats and vessels that will kind of link you up with your chosen resort. The resorts themselves, like your Castaway, which is one of the more traditional. The Castaway is probably one of the first resorts, and it itself is just beautiful. And what I love about the Castaway is that it gives that real, South Sea Island experience. I mean, there you are staying in your little bungalow, and you're hearing this. Just shut your eyes. So you've just stepped out of the surf, and now you're wandering back. And of course, you want to be staying right where it's happening. So you walk up into your overwater bungalow. Your overwater bungalow. It's overwater bungalow. The beach bungalow rather has thatched roof, lovely. And they use tapas, the tapas cloth, and the tapas cloth is actually locally made, pounded with wood. They kind of they pound the bark of the trees and paint it. It's kind of delightful. Here you've got an opportunity to stay on a beach or a garden bungalow. definitely go to the beach every time because, of course, you want to step straight out of there onto white sand and step back into the ocean to go for a swim. All the non-motorised activities you'll find are included and incorporated into your itinerary, so that's good to know. Just need to talk to your travel advisor as to what best suits you, because it may be as a couple, because here they'll take and castaway, it's families and couples, it's quite a mix. I think it's magic the way it melds together. It works very, very well. But if you want to just, adults only, then you'd probably go to Tokariki. Now, friends of mine actually operate this, and he's from Sydney, and I've got to say, great chef, does a marvellous job, and his wife basically helps run the whole thing. And they sit here, a local village, helps staff the property itself. Your little beach bures, as you see here, this one here, it sits right on the sand, and that's a view from your bed. And that is how you start every day, waking up to that. A shower just to kind of freshen yourself up before you head out. For those stepping up, you can also have a sunset pool villa, which has its outside day bed and a little plunge pool as well. They cater for everything here. You can do nothing. You can relax. You've got great dining facilities. You can see it's a very small catering couples, as you can see the tables, and it's really about making sure that your days are spent doing exactly what you want. So if you want to go on a picnic, and they'll set this up, you'll kind of be on a little boat dropped off, and bang, here you are, Maui Shandong, and it's just a lovely little start to the day. Or maybe you're finishing your day with a nice romantic dinner. Lots of great experiences can be incorporated. Now, you can also look at small ship cruising. I believe that small ship cruising will probably be the first to take off. I think people are going to want not to be in such large number. And small ships here in Fiji, you've got the captain cook that does a fabulous job, and they offer several itineraries like 3-night, 4-night, 7-night, and it gets you to parts of Fiji that you wouldn't be able to get to. In fact, you're going to some villages, in fact, that don't see humans outside of Captain Cook. And there's also another company called Blue Lagoon Cruises, also a small ship cruising experience, offering you all those activities, getting you into remote areas, seeing parts of Fiji that are seldom visited. So that's just delightful. Going further north, you head up into the Sawa Island group. The movie, actually, Castaway with Tom Hanks, was filmed up here. And you can actually say a Yasawa Island Resort and Spa, which is a great place again, 5-star couples only. It's really the perfect spot. And it's, you see the size of the room there, nice and open. It's all about just really taking in that lovely opportunity to be close to the beach. Now, when you head from there, going north, we're heading up into Savile, and a little up in Vanalevu. You'll fly up to Savile, and it's from here that you can head out and do Vanalevu, or you'll cross to Tavanui. But let's have a quick look at what it's all about. Now, this area here is where Jacques Cousteau came because he found the diving here. They call it the soft coral capital of the world. Now, a small plane will take you up. Your little Pacific will fly up here, and you can do all sorts of activities. You've got kayaking, snorkeling, and, of course, diving at some of a true diver's paradise. It's got they say, over 1,200 species or varieties of fish, and it's just over 390 coral species. I mean, it's just quite incredible. Staying at a place like the Coral Sun Resort and Rainforest Spa is an ideal location. It offers a great array. People who like to do other things, like you've got, apart from your accommodations, you've got your spa facilities, you've got this great golf course, little nine-hole golf course. You've got a tennis court there. There's all sorts of activities you can get involved in. Or you want to step it up and go somewhere truly amazing, Gumea Resort and Spa. Gumea it's won numerous awards. There's only 17 elegant bures, and it's just on this little private beach, pristine white sand, and it basically is just a divine spot. You can head out and do all sorts of activities. You go diving and snorkeling, and of course, right on your doorstep. Your accommodations is well positioned, not next to each other, nicely spaced, so you feel like you're by yourself, like you're kind of marooned on this remote little island. Of course, hardly marooned. You're in 5-star luxury, and they've even got a beautiful spa facility as well. So for the diver, you'll be well impressed. Now, for those that know Tony Robbins, the great American promoter and motivational speaker, Tony Robbins actually owns the Maui Fiji Resort and Spa. Now, you're thinking about looking for motivation. This is truly a reason. A person like Tony Robbins has taken this on is because he finds himself it's a place to recharge batteries. It's a chance to get back what you've lost, especially after what we've been going through right now. You talk to your travel advisor in terms of property like this. We'd select either a poolside, depending what your answer is, or maybe you want to step it up and have a little ocean tropical bure. We can cater to your budget and make sure that you're well looked after. At the end of the day, Namali will provide you a great opportunity to escape. Now we head now to the Cook Islands. The Cooks are fabulous. And when's the last time you've actually tipped your head back and had a laugh, a real laugh that comes from the very bottom of your stomach? You know what I'm talking about? Where you just laugh, tears pouring down your eyes. You'll find that Cooks, the people of the Cooks, that's how they live every day. They seek every day. They are the locals are just fun personified. They are such fun. And the Cooks itself, travel tips as far as the Cooks, travel visas issued on arrival, so you don't need to worry about any of that rigmarole before you travel. Currency is New Zealand dollars, so your money, again, it's nearly double, which is good. Tipping is not customary, so therefore there's no extra cost there. English is primarily the spoken language, and weather-wise, they do have April to November is the dry season, but you'll find that right throughout the Cook Islands are just all year round a great destination, because again, the temperature, as you'll find right throughout the South Pacific, between the 70s and 90s. That's all you need to remember now, and I won't have to say it again. So it's the same time zone as Hawaii, so that will give you an idea as well. The Cooks itself, we only focus in on two island groups. With Rarotonga, of course, is the main island, and then Aitutaki is where we kind of add on a few nights. So typically you do, say, 3 nights in Rarotonga and, say, a couple of nights in Aitutaki, depending on how long you're travelling, of course. Flying time with, of course, Air New Zealand out of Los Angeles, they'll fly directly to Rarotonga. There's only 2 flights a week, and with that, you're basically into Rarotonga. You can then on-fly to Auckland or to Australia. So it's a good stopover destination. It kind of ties in quite nicely, about 9.5 hours and you're there. The main island of Rarotonga, as you see here, you've got the mountain peaks, and there's wonderful rim of coral that kind of surrounds it. You're basically looking, this sun rises on the right-hand side here. This is called Muri Beach, Muri Lagoon, this section here. So the sunrise is this side here, and sunset is this side here. So depending on what you want in terms of views, that's something to consider. There's also there's markets and there's some great more activity around here. So we'll guide you. It's one big, the actual resort, the actual island itself is got 19-mile road that is one road that goes around the entire island. So it's pretty easy in there. You can't get lost. In fact, you treat this as one big resort, because when you're staying here, no matter where you choose to stay, you can basically go and trotter around and check out other parts. So you've got this lovely blanket of green rainforest that kind of runs down these rich volcanic soils. There's the high mountain peaks, the volcanic peaks. It'll come rushing down to fringed, palmed, beached. You've got these lovely sugar sand beaches, and of course these protected lagoons. And it's great, as you walk along the beach, you'll be able to see, you'll pick up shells, and it's just a really beautiful place which to travel to. And kia rana, that's the greeting here when you meet somebody here. It's kia rana, Polynesian, and that basically the opportunity to look around, relax, and enjoy. This is a complete open book. In fact, getting around this beach is really your highway. You better kick your shoes off. You don't need to wear shoes. Imagine going somewhere where you don't have to wear shoes the entire time you're here. You basically step off your bungalow, or you walk down to the beach, and then that's your little highway. You want to go to the yacht club for lunch? Let's just go for a walk down there. You put a pareo on, and over your bathers, you've just gone for a dip, get some fresh water and brush yourself down, and off you go and have a nice little lunch. Getting around, for those that want to be mobile, you get motor scooters. That's always a fun way to travel around. Nothing says I'm on a vacation more than getting a motor scooter. Or if you need to, you can also rent cars, $50 a day, nothing too over the top. There is also a way of getting around without any need to drive. That's here on the local bus. Now there's 2 buses. One's called Clockwise, the other one's called Anti-Clockwise. So it's pretty easy, and getting around the island, it's pretty laid back. There's also fun buses too, where they actually on a Friday night they'll have a tropo bus where they'll go from restaurant to restaurant, and you'll have a progressive dinner, and perhaps a progressive drinking experience as well. And there's only one traffic sign you need to worry about. That's it there. Once you work out how to give way, you have passed the test. In fact, the old test, you used to have to go to the police station to get your driver's license. It's funny, the cooks, you don't have to do this now, but before, you used to go to your, transfer to your resort, then you go and rent a vehicle, and then you would drive your vehicle to the police station, not to turn yourself in, but to do their driving test. Doesn't that sound strange? You can actually drive before you get your license. That's the Cook Islands. It's just delightful. And so is the dining experience. Now, the dining experience, while the properties you stay at will offer some great fare, you'll find the food is quite the treat. I mean, the sea itself provides some wonderful fresh fish, as does its rich, fertile land. Some award-winning chefs are now found themselves here in the Cooks, and you'll find there's a real collision of great international cuisine with wonderful fresh produce. And some of the seaside retreats, just places to relax and lovely white sandy beaches, prepare nice meals. You can head down and have little picnics. Just fabulous. There's markets you can wander through, like Penunga Nui Market, which gives you a chance to meet with the locals. And that's important. Make sure you use your funny accents, because you've got funny accents. They want to hear you. Talk to the locals. They'll have a laugh with you. They're great people, really great people. Buy yourself a pareo, nice colourful pareo, and maybe treat yourself to a shell necklace and all sorts of handcrafted jewellery. Black pearls. You can actually get black pearls here. And they're some of the most reasonably priced black pearls in the world. Yeah, so keep that in mind. So when you're here, opportunities to kayak, to head out into that lagoon, maybe do a little paddle boarding, or for those that want to get close to the fishes, you can head in there and you can feed them right on sunset. There's also a glass-bottom boat that will take you out over the reef, and if you want to get closer, again, you can go on snorkeling or even some diving experiences as well. Now, if you like the idea of doing a little fishing, there's game fishing, there's fly fishing, there's all sorts of opportunities to get out into the ocean. You can go whale watching, you can go on scooter adventures and explore the interior of the island. Just you as a couple can head out, have adventures and drop into little restaurants along the way and cafes, maybe do a little organised eco tour on a bike and learn a bit about the plants, or go on a full drive into the interior and perhaps join up with Pa. Now, Pa's a mate of mine. He's been operating. He's in his 70s now. He's as fit as a mallee bull, and he actually takes groups on cross-island hikes that will take you into the interior of the island. And for those that are interested in experiencing the rich Polynesian culture, then having an island night is always a lot of fun. And ultimately, it's all about that promise of getting your life back, and that's what the Cooks will deliver. Staying at little places like the Little Polynesia. This Little Poly is just a very natural, and natural is as natural does. This is a beautiful beach location, and it's this lovely protected lagoon provides some lovely deep water swimming just off. A great spot to truly relax. The rooms themselves, high ceilings and lovely timbered floors. Your outside shower experience. I kind of like that whole idea of being outside in the shower. And then the decking with the day bed and you can sit out and relax. The chef here will prepare some fabulous meals. And of course, for those seeking to celebrate, then celebrations will definitely unfold as they do special dining arrangements like you see here. Yeah, the Little Poly's not bad. There's also Te Varoko Villas, which is for those wanting a small villa complex, or one I'd really favour is this Pacific Resorts. It's luxury hotels of the world, small luxury hotels of the world. This property itself is kind of tucked in amongst this rainforest and held back by these swaying palms and that lovely white sand beach. And you find in the interior, the family rooms tend to be at the back of the property where they've got a bit of space and nice high-tech ceilings. On the beachfront ones, they kind of tend to reserve for the couples and that lovely sweet frontage. And they've got a great little restaurant. You can either dine at Sandals, or they also set up on the beach itself for breakfast. They have this open, depending on the time of day, they'll open this up for a nice little location, or maybe at night, just depends on how many people. Because you have lots of people walking the beach, just popping in for a meal. It's really a meeting place and a place for some truly magic moments. And if the moment does suit you and you want something truly magic to happen, to maybe a destination wedding. Yes, it is legal to get married in the Cooks. It's not a trouble at all. We can, with your travel advisor, we can help organise a lovely destination wedding. And then there's Atataki. Atataki is like a 40-minute flight from Rarotonga, and it's truly breathtaking, absolutely amazing. Typically, if clients are coming over from North America, they're staying, say 5 nights all up, they might split their time and spend, say, 3 nights in Rarotonga and then 2 nights at Atataki. And that's just at the very small. I mean, of course, you can stay longer. It just depends on what you're looking to do. So there's simply no words to describe the beauty that you'll see. In fact, these photographs never do it justice. It's not until you're here that you'll have a smile that you just cannot wipe off your face. And Air Rarotonga will have you linked across there in no time. There's the daily carrier. And when you arrive, get onto that lagoon. And there's some great little tours. In fact, you can go out in these Polynesian-style cats will take you out motorised. They'll take you out to a place called 1 Foot Island. And there's the island in the shape of a footprint. And out on 1 Foot Island, there's actually a post office where you can get your passport stamped. I've been to 1 Foot Island, one of the most remote post offices in the world. Kind of fun. And here you'll get a chance to snorkel, and all sorts of marine life will follow you around, and you'll have a chance to relax and soak it all in. And this piece of paradise is truly a place where you can, little things like a beach massage is a perfect way to finish the day. And then heading back to your accommodations, this is actually the Pacific Resort Atataki, and the resort is just a fabulous location. It's sister property to the Rarotonga, and they have some great arrangements when you link these two together. When you're staying here, you can go out kayaking in the lagoon right from the resort. You can just head up in a kayak, or you might want to stick around for that nice little beach massage, or perhaps a little romantic moment to kind of wind out your day. Other properties, there's also the Atataki Lagoon Resort and Spa, which offers a range of accommodations, including some overwater bungalows. Now, these overwater bungalows, which are quite common in Tahiti, of course, are also found here. But a 4-star, I'd give them. They're quite nice and just gives you that access to the lagoon. Then, for those that want to step it up a bit, the Atataki Escape. This is truly luxury accommodation and just private and unmatched personal service. I mean, just a gorgeous part of the lagoon. The rooms are well appointed, high thatch ceilings, and just love that whole open bathroom experience. And of course, access to the lagoon. That's what it's all about. So you're coming to a place that is truly heaven on earth. Atataki, and of course the Cook Islands. So why the Cook Islands? Well, you'll feel like a local. It's a remote paradise. It's great value, diverse experiences, and it's a multicultural country experience. So you can move around. Now, for those that want to kind of have that experience moving around, Irana, welcome to Tahiti and her islands. Now, Tahiti and her islands are made up of 5 archipelagos. There's 118 islands altogether. You have the Society Islands, which is where you'll find your Bora Bora, Morea, and a few of the main ones. Then you'll go into the Tuamotus. The Tuamotus, actually, in terms of age, the Marquesas are actually the youngest group. The Tuamotus are possibly the oldest group, and the Society are probably in between. And having said that, I'll explain as we go forward. But there's also, as I mentioned, the Marquesas, the youngest island group, and then you've got the Gambia Archipelago and the Austral Archipelago, and these aren't as seldom visited by travellers. Of course, getting there is important, and Air France and Hawaiian Airlines, United, Air Tahiti Nui, and French B are the carriers that will link you there. The main carrier, of course, is Air Tahiti Nui, which provides a sensational service, a 7.5-hour journey from Los Angeles, and you're down in Tahiti. And when you board that plane, you're given a flower. It's called tiare flower. The tiare flower goes behind your left ear if you're taken, behind your right ear if you're available, and behind both ears if you're just a bit confused. You'll find that aboard that flight in business class, you'll be well looked after, and the service is sublime. In fact, you'll see how they change their uniforms. They get on your quite business address, and they put the women put these lovely floral dresses on and flowers in their hair. You feel the whole weight of your busy working world being left behind as you depart to paradise. Lovely meals served on board, very much an influenced meal of Tahiti and the islands, and you'll see that an opportunity to sit back, relax, watch all those movies you haven't had a chance to watch. Little business class kits as well is given. In economy class, I love the colours. You'll still see the Gauguin prints and the lovely tropical colours. It's a 7.5-hour flight, and before you know it, you've arrived. From the west coast, you've arrived in paradise. Now, it doesn't have to be expensive. There's a lot of affordable packages. Talking to your travel advisor, they can customise itineraries that will bring together the very best elements of what you're seeking in a vacation. English is widely spoken. Having said that, I love the fact that you're going to French Polynesia. So when you walk through the markets, you're hearing a foreign accent. You're you're hearing Tahitian and French, and it just makes you feel like you're somewhere exotic. It's also pristine and unspoilt. So what are we saying here? Well, it's not going to be nightclubs and high-rise buildings, and it's not that. It's the way Hawaii used to be. So it's like stepping back in time. All sorts of activities to go out, all sorts of land activities to get out and explore the interior of the island, as well as getting out onto the lovely lagoons. And you'll find the beautiful thing about this region is it offers an opportunity for romance, rejuvenation, and relaxation. That's what it's all about. That's what Tahiti is all about. I mean, be it starting with a motu picnic or perhaps having a lovely spa. I mean, it's a chance to just reconnect with yourself and get all those important things back in place. For those that are considering getting married in 2021, why not get married in Tahiti? Some wonderful destination weddings are now available. It's legal to get married here now. It's a little bit of work to organise it, but can be done. And again, your travel advisor will be best to work with you because they can get all the paperwork organised and help make sure that you're making all the right steps. But what an amazing step it would be. Coming to paradise. Now let's start with the main island of Tahiti. You fly into Tahiti, into Papeete. Actually, the airport is called Fa'a International Airport. So when you arrive at Fa'a International Airport, you're greeted with flowers. I mean, flowers are pretty much the start of your Tahitian experience. You'll find flowers are found. Women wear flowers in their hair. This is the tiare flower, of course, the tiare, the national flower of Tahiti. And women wear flowers in their hair. They wear floral dresses. You'll be staying in little bungalows and garden bungalows with a scent of frangipanis kind of wafting through and a lovely warm tropical breeze. I mean, it's just a passion of this region. It's the flowers is found right throughout. And be it going into Papeete, when you walk into the markets, you'll see an amazing array of flowers. You'll see beautiful, all the fruits and vegetables, the lovely sweet, sticky tropical fruits, the heady smells of fish and poultry, and a lovely din. Again, the accents you're hearing. Get yourself a coffee, sit back and relax. Talk to the locals. Go and buy some handmade goods. Meet the local mamas and pick up perhaps a lovely colourful pareo. And then go and learn a bit about the place. Go to the Gauguin Museum and learn about his attraction and draw to Tahiti and our islands. Maybe take a locally guided tour or a four-wheel drive adventure. Do a Circle Island tour and get into the interior. And then in the evening, come down to the waterfront. This is where the locals go to eat. They have these roulottes, these little vans. And in the evening on a tropical balmy night, you're outside wearing shorts and a cotton T-shirt. You're going from different restaurants, looking at the menus. You've got all these woks. You've got some Chinese, you've got some French crepes being made over here. It's just a fabulous, and you're mixing with the locals. It's a nice feel. Then staying here, often it's just an overnight stay because people are kind of flying off. Intercontinental Resort Tahiti is one of my favourites. You could have an overwater bungalow, which gives you that lovely view from overwater, but you might want to save your money. Just get a panoramic room. I mean, a panoramic room offers a sensational view. Typically, you're coming in, and that you're probably not even coming in darkness. You wake up next morning and bang, that's what you see. And that's where you're going next. That's Morea. So it's just like that kind of taunting you across the ocean. So yes, this is a good spot to stay. Maeva Suites also is a great property. It sits right and offers those same views and vistas. And this is where you're looking. You're looking forward to head across to Morea, where you're staying over here for 3 or 4 nights, and it has this beautiful natural lagoon. You've got Opapunu Bay and Cook's Bay. Now to get here, you can go via the lovely ferry service. This ferry service Arameti, as it leaves Papeete, and you're saying goodbye to Tahiti, the main island of Tahiti, and you're kind of making your way across. It's about a 30-minute ride, but it just is stunning. And the anticipation is unbearable. You're going to paradise. It's just fabulous. For those that can't wait, you can fly. You actually spend more time getting on and off this plane than you spend in the air. That's Air Tahiti, the domestic carrier. So you can fly across here as well. It really, the whole nature of flying, you actually can fly from Morea to Bora Bora. So you could perhaps I would do that. I would come out here by boat, by the Arameti, and then take a 45-minute flight with Air Tahiti across Morea to Bora Bora. So the island itself, massive lagoons, and these beautiful lagoons, protected lagoons, provide some wonderful overwater bungalow experiences. Now the accommodations here all come off main the actual main island itself. So you'll see here the Hilton Maria is just a lovely property. See the little you got your little TV on the floor there, your Tahitian television as they call them. They actually have, I should point out, they have a great little creperie out there on the actual oval water. Sofitel Morea, Iorana Beach Resort, has probably one of the best white sand beaches. And again, high thatch ceilings, lovely Tahitian television, a great point to access. Intercon also has property here, and that's really a mixed offering and accommodations from Lane rooms, motel style rooms, up to overwater bungalows. So it's quite a mixed resort in terms of interest. You'll find families and singles, the whole gamut. They have an actual opportunity to go swimming with dolphins over here if you wish. Then there's Bora Bora, and Bora Bora, you're looking at this amazing lagoon. Now, the accommodations is either out on the motu, where the motu is that little that thin strip of land which sits out here, kind of holding the lagoon in place, and you've got accommodations out on the motu, or you've got accommodations on the mainland itself. Now, arriving here, you've got to arrive on the airstrip, which is built back in the Second World War by Americans, back with the Second World War, basically when they came in here and helped protect this lovely piece of paradise. And so when you're flying out here, you'll land out on the motu, and you'll be picked up from there and then transferred to your bungalows. And either they're going to be like here, this is St. Regis, or you'll be actually on the main island itself. Now, Bora Bora Pearl Resort and Spa has just spent a small fortune updating. So this is probably would be the newest property, you might say, in terms of its upgrades. It's had an amazing overview, and the lovely thing here is they've maintained and managed to retain that Polynesian spirit. I mean, it's somebody, you don't want to be in a hotel where you feel like you're in New York. You want to feel like I'm in French Polynesia. And Bora Bora and the Pearl Group is a master of that. They are truly, are holden to that one ideal that you feel like you are in paradise. And the bathrooms, of course, have been upgraded as well, and they look just splendid. Now, there's opportunities when you're on Bora Bora to head out and explore and swim with stingrays and shark, and also with turtles. And the Lemuridian Bora Bora is a great property to give you that opportunity. They've got a lovely lagoon here, and the overwater bungalows are probably some of the largest glass floors. I recommend you throw your blanket over there, because the early morning sun will hit the sand underneath there, and it will beam up through your TV and kind of like wake you up a bit too early. The St. Regis, though, is truly paradise. They actually have about 77 single-bedroom villas that kind of sit out. 8 of these are featured terrace whirlpools. I mean, it's just a beautiful property. It's about 13,000 square foot of royal estate rooms that just delightful. So depending on what clients want, they can everything. In fact, they would have by far the largest overwater bungalows. The actual floor plan here is quite spacious. I myself are a bit of a fan. I like my Pearl, my Four Seasons, and also Four Seasons because of its location, but also I love the actual floor plan. It's quite open, and it just gives you more space. At the same time, you don't feel like you're too far away from everything. The Intercon Bora Bora Resort and Spa, and they have this lovely Thalasso Spa, which is just sensational. The food here is amazing. The Sands restaurant and is just wonderful. They've got the Reef restaurant, which is a gastronomic delight. This is just a great spot. They've got a lovely little chapel here for those who want to get married. The Intercon, you see here the rooms out overlooking just a chance to explore, and that Tahitian television. The way this room's set out, to the right-hand side would be the bathroom, to the left-hand side would be the bedroom, and so it's all laid out, so it's nice and easily spaced. The Conrad Bora Bora Nui is actually on its own island within the actual lagoon, so it's somewhat protected. They've got beautiful sunsets here, so that's an important thing for you. A nice sunset sitting out on the deck of your overwater bungalow. We've also got some beautiful beach and garden bungalows as well. And this is a lovely property to call home. They have probably one of the best Polynesian spa. The Conrad Bora Bora, the Bora Bora Nui, the spa facility here is sensational. Now going out to Rangiroa. Now, Rangiroa, the actual island has sunk, and where you're staying is out on the motu. This is one big motu, and this area here, the Tuamotus, is where these are the older island group, and this basically island in the middle is sunk. So where you're staying is out on this motu, and the draw to places like Rangiroa is it's truly a diver's delight. There's this amazing underwater world. It's just and the marine life is phenomenal. There's a dive you can do in Tahiti Pass where I've been in the water, and the water, when a rising tide, the water's kind of coming back into the lagoon, and you've got all the fish going past you, like you're like Marine Boy, and you've got all these fish like shooting past. You'll see an occasional shark, and you'll have dolphins swimming past. It's phenomenal. For snorkelers as well, you'll find this is a true paradise. And one place that I do enjoy staying at is the Hotel Cura Resort and Spa. Again, its location is everything. It puts you right where it's all happening, and they've got all sorts of activities they can arrange for you to get out and enjoy that lagoon. Now, all this talk of Tahitian televisions, I think it's time to give you an insight into how to open one. I want you to think now, be with me right now. Imagine you're here with your partner. It's a wonderful, balmy, tropical night. You've got this restaurant meal served. You're over here in the restaurant, and this fabulous meal's been prepared. It's this collision of French cooking know-how with lovely Tahitian fare, and it's collided together to create this wonderful dining experience. You're enjoying some fabulous champagne, French no less. And it's just a wonderful night. Stars are lit. You don't want the night to finish. So you take your second bottle of champagne now with a couple of glasses, and you walk down the steps out to your overwater bungalow, right out to the very end. This is yours here. You step inside, and you sit on the end of your bed. You pour 2 glasses of champagne, and you take the lid off your TV there. Now you turn the lights out inside the bungalow, and you turn the lights on underneath, and all of a sudden the fish are attracted to the light, and they're swirling around. You drop some fish food through there, and all these tropical fish are swirling around. It's a balmy tropical night. You're on this romantic escape, and you're drinking champagne. I've got to stop right there because it gets a bit busy. You know what I'm saying? Think forward now. Next morning you wake to the sound of a conch shell. Ooh! You put on your lovely toweling robe, and you step out onto the deck of your overwater bungalow. This big tan Tahitian, glistening in the sun, is paddling out an outrigger canoe with a big platter of sweet, sticky tropical fruit, and they pass this up to you and your partner as you sit on the deck of your overwater bungalow, ready to start your day. Now you've got choices to make. Should we go out? Should we get into that water? Should we explore? Should we go and visit a village? Should we go and travel the island itself, or should we sit back here and just relax? Plenty of possibilities. When you go to Tahiti or Islands, there's wonderful possibilities. And of course, these possibilities are met every day with friendly Polynesian hospitality. And the chance to immerse yourself with rich cultural heritage of Tahiti or Islands, an amazing romantic escape, is available right throughout. And as far as romantic suggestions, when you're working with your travel advisor, they will link together a whole array from flower leis to pareos to souvenir shirts, chilled champagne, aromatic flower baths. There's nothing like it. To step into a bath where it's completely covered in tropical, colourful flowers. Deep tissue body massages, that outrigger canoe breakfast, the opportunity for a little departing shawl lei gift. It's just delightful. And it really does make for a great vacation and a great place to, when we celebrate the end of this pandemic, then why not come to paradise? From pandemic to paradise. So a stopover from Australia and New Zealand, it is a great one you can incorporate there. Tahiti's great value, and it's a complete experience. You can just go to Tahiti and that's it. Or you can combine it with cruising and sailing. You can combine it with other island stays. It's a diver's delight, an adventurer's paradise. So whether you choose to start the day with that outrigger canoe breakfast, sitting up there on the deck of your overwater bungalow, watching all the fish swim below, or perhaps you want to get up early and join those fish on an underwater adventure, or perhaps it's all about laying back, soaking it in. It's about that life back promise, and that's what we promise when it comes to traveling to the South Pacific. Guys, thanks for being a part of my presentation. I want to open it up right now to questions. And please, by all means, any questions you have, just type them in there. I'll do my very best to get to as many as possible. Just one second. So how many people want to go? Eh? The idea of going to the South Pacific. Okay. So somebody's asking about direct flights from Houston. No, you'll have to go via Los Angeles. The average. Some a little ambiguous. The question's ambiguous because I'm not sure exactly what three islands we're talking about, and we're not too sure if you're thinking about trying to see. You would not do Tahiti, Fiji, and the Cook Islands. I say you wouldn't do. It's not that you can't do it, but I think it would be quite. You need a few months to do it properly, and so it's a lot of flying and hopping and skipping, and I think really you do any one of those destinations in their own right. I mean, I've really, with Tahiti, for example, I've only just skimmed the surface. I've left so much off the plate. I mean, I haven't talked about the Brando, which is one of the best resorts and islands in the world. I mean, there's so many islands. My Casey Island group, which will go out via small adventure cruise. There's a vessel called the Aranui, which I call it the mullet, because at the front of the vessel it's actually got a crane, and they actually have freight. On the back of it, it's like a little resort. A resort, and this adventure cruise takes you out to some amazing parts where just a lot of people have never been. I mean, there's some great suggestions. In fact, if anything, I think we should probably look at doing a presentation just on Tahiti and doing one just on the Cooks and doing one just on Fiji. My presentation today has really been about just getting you excited, getting you thinking. And if you're really thinking about any one of these particular, you tell your travel advisor, I really want to know more about, and I'll put a special presentation just on Tahiti for you, or I'll do a special one just on Fiji, because I've left, like I said, I've just skimmed the surface. I just wanted to give you a tease. I wanted to give you a taste, and that's what it was all about today. Of course, at the moment, the world, nobody can fly anywhere in the world today, so making any comment with regards to what's open and what's not is pointless. I mean, I can't fly back to Australia right now. I missed my mother's 80th birthday. That's probably a given. I think we all know the world is currently sitting at home in pandemic. But what we're doing together right now is, with our invitation from our travel advisor friends, we are making plans, because failing to plan is planning to fail. And right now we've got an opportunity to escape. And I hope the presentation made you feel like you lifted away from your current condition and situation, and feel like you're escaped. So it's all about just getting excited. There is the promise. The world will get better. Things will change. This is not going to go forever. We're looking ahead, and we're looking ahead to do something special with our lives. I want to celebrate myself when this pandemic's over. I'm going. I'm traveling, and I'm not sure I'm going just yet. I got to tell you, all these virtual vacations we've been doing have got me quite excited. So I'm not really quite sure just where just yet. For those that live in Canada, if you know how long it flies, depending on where you live in Canada, how long it takes to fly from wherever you live in Canada to Los Angeles, add that on to the amount of time it takes then to go from there to Tahiti, 7.5 hours, 9.5 hours to Cooks, or 10.5 hours to Fiji, and then you've worked the math out on the actual flying time. And don't forget, you can also add the south. You can continue on to Australia and New Zealand from there as well. Or you can, in fact, I suggest if people are looking to do Australia and New Zealand, that you would probably fly there first and do the islands the way back. You'll find jet lag wise, you'll actually get to the islands. You won't actually get the jet lag going down there. You more likely have jet lag coming back. So if you're going to break the journey coming back, that might actually help your jet lag. So keep that in mind too. Guys, I'm going to leave the questions, because a lot of these questions are just little questions I think I'm going to pass back to your travel advisors. I want to get the travel advisors. I want you guys, if you would do me the biggest favour, if you've enjoyed this presentation and you were invited by a travel advisor, go onto their Facebook and just let them know that you felt this was good fun. I mean, this whole exercise, travel advisors came to me and said, Jeff, we want to give our clients the opportunity to escape. We know people are trapped at home right now. They're kind of restricted in their travel opportunities. We kind of figured that, if they're interested in the South Pacific, let's take them there virtually. So our virtual vacation today is proudly brought to you by your local travel advisor. So contact your local travel advisor and thank them. Let them know. Let them know you're pleased to have been invited. And if you enjoyed what you've enjoyed today, if you enjoyed the day and you want to know a bit more about, say, Australia, we actually did a presentation on Australia back on Thursday, April the 23rd. And you can, again, ask your travel advisor. They can send you a link to the video. And also, we can organise a checklist. If you're planning to go to Australia, for that matter, if you're planning to go to New Zealand, then if you're looking to couple those together, both those presentations are actually recorded and they are available to you. So by all means, just by all means, just talk to your travel advisor and they'll pull it together. Now, I've been asked by our travel advisors to now take on Africa next. So next week is the start of a little focus on Africa safaris. And we're going to take you on safari. First of all, next Thursday, we'll be doing a safari through South Africa. And South Africa is interesting because it's more than just wildlife. South Africa is also about cities like Cape Town, which is probably, it's been voted one of the number one cities in the world. This gorgeous, beautiful Cape Town. You've got this lovely history and heritage, and there's great wine experiences sit right on the very edge of Cape Town too. So we're going to combine that with some great safari experiences up to the Kruger, and then the following Thursday we're going to go to Kenya on a Kenya safari. This is the birthplace of the safari, that whole out of Africa experience. So if you're keen to join us on our journey, if this was a good day for you, I'd hope you'd sign up. Again, ask your travel advisor. They've got the details and they can send you a link. And remember, make sure you know your travel agent's name, their agency name and their email. It's a contact that will really hold you for good stead. I hope you've had some fun today, because remember, the fun is in the planning. So call a travel advisor and let the fun begin. Thank you very much for joining us today. I wish you all the very best in planning for your escape of this pandemic. Here's cheers and bye for now.